Okay, Hellraiser I know less. Sort of I actually like know for years, but still like I just don't trust my brain anymore. Like
That's fair.
no,
That's fair.
no, I have to check this. But anyway, enough about that and my questionable memory sometimes. We are on Jagannatha LE, and in the bottom left corner of Jagannatha LE, we have set player. We have the Zerg player, the red Zerg representing Sweden. It is sort of.
And spawning in the top right-hand corner of Jagannatha LE, we have the blue Protoss player hailing from the land of Germany, representing Cascade Esports. It is GunGFuBanDa.
Now my question is, are like Queen Walks a thing in EU?
No, yeah, 100%. 100%. Of course.
But are they still a thing? Because I feel like there was like a point where it was like a peak where like everybody was doing it, and I'm not sure if it's still the case.
Well, the meta shifts, right? So obviously it rose in popularity, and then Protoss players figured out how to hold against it with disruptors, and even more than that, they figured out how to hold against it with even just Sky Toss, with Void Rays, and a couple of gateway units, positioning, stack defense. Yeah, but I'm sure we still see it in European ZVP. Like, I'm really curious as well. I haven't seen SortOf play in a long time. What is his approach to this matchup? Especially because, at least in the other regions, typically Jagannath is vetoed in this matchup.
Yeah, here we see the differences between various regions. And the first win for GunGFuBanDa is here because sort of did have to take this farther away third base.
Yes.
The natural was not available.
The unnatural natural, if you will, is forced here for SortOf. Meanwhile, there's a bit of a scuffle between some of these workers, but nothing too major so far. GunGFuBanDa just trying to sack him out a little bit.
Yeah, some worker violence there, but fortunately, no victims.
Yes. Not yet.
Anyway.
And we'll see. I'm really curious to see what kind of player GunGFuBanDa is as well. As I was about to say, are we going to see a Stargate opener? Is he going to embrace the Sky Toss? Or are we going to see something different?
Correct me if I'm wrong, but for the past 2 days that we've been casting the European players, I haven't seen that many Stargates actually.
Stargates, yes, but in ZVP, if you mean Sky Toss, no. But we haven't casted a lot of ZVPs these past couple of days. So
that is correct.
Yeah, we have kind of been avoiding that matchup a little bit. Unfortunately, because me personally, I do enjoy casting it. Of course, I don't enjoy playing it. It's actually, I'm a Zerg player, and it's my worst matchup out of all the matchups.
One of them has to be the worst. You know?
It's true. It's true. One of them is like 35% win rate though, and it's not looking good. It's not it's not looking good, correct? Oh god. But we'll see what we have here. As we do have that robo, and we will be having a glaive opening.
Yeah, and considering that SortOf was forced to take that forward base, like glaives can be actually quite neat.
Oh yeah, they definitely can be. Eventually, this overload will be dealt with, and right now, I'm curious about how many gateways are going to be thrown down. So far, we have 4 gateways. This is the more standard thing we have to see. I remember now, the other ZVP we casted was Strange, and Strange was doing strange things.
Yeah, I was gonna say the ZVP was a bit strange.
Yes, if you recall, and I'm sure people in the chat remember this if they were here, Strange opened up with 3 gateway glaive adepts without a robo, and he just sent them across the map.
Yes. Yeah, we got the robot. That was the important part.
Yeah, and it was like, what? But it was 3 gate as well. That was what was so odd about it. And then he got into Colossus as well behind it. It was obviously it fell in its face a little bit, but it was like, what? I remember asking. I was like, people in the chat, is this what European Protoss do? And like, no, it's just Strange. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, don't worry about it. Oh, nice save on the adept. Very neat.
Ooh.
And look what's next on the way for GunGFuBanDa.
Yeah. Almost immediately after he's moving out across the map, he's throwing down a robotics bay behind this. Oh my.
So we learned that in Europe it's Colossus, huh?
Kappa. This honestly, this should be Disruptor. But we'll see as the adepts are here across the map. Nice response by SortOf. I mean, mate, he saw it earlier, so he has plenty of links to chase the adepts. He also has these Ravagers as well, so when he gets a wraparound, he can bar them down. Also, if the War Prism is ever exposed and sieged up, it could also be barred down by said Ravagers.
Yeah, like sort of is well prepared for this. Like he still has to be careful to not be pulled. Yeah, exactly, pulled apart because as he's focusing on this third base, the war priest is coming in. The queen is gonna spot it, but it might still unload the adepts.
Yeah, the Lings do come here into the main base to deal with the Adepts in the main. Meanwhile, at the third base, SortOf did keep his Ravagers and another handful of Lings.
And he's trying to buy them down, but they just moving away. And actually, they're gonna be cleaned up, so that's pretty nice.
Yeah, only 3 drones go down. Honestly, this is a pretty acceptable defense, right? 4 drones in total. Sure, one additional one, but it's perfectly fine. And to be fair, GunGFuBanDa, it doesn't really matter. He wanted to force a response. If he overwhelmed his opponent, great, sure. If he didn't, he has a follow-up.
Is he gonna drop these disruptors?
Yes. We do have a Disruptor alongside War Prison Speed here on the way for GunGFuBanDa. He's going to be banking up, I imagine, 2 Disruptors and then moving out across the map with them. When it comes to our region, Pez does this quite often as well in this matchup, or at least he used to. It did kind of fall off for him a little bit, as he did prefer a different style.
Someone else did that too, but I can't remember now. There was someone who would go for Disruptors like every time.
Yeah. I mean, again, like there was a period where this was quite popular. We do see GunGFuBanDa going back to that style, and as soon as he has his 2 Disruptors, he's going for a Colossus behind this for that more consistent AoE damage.
Makes perfect sense. But yeah, SortOf is prepared with a bunch of roaches, but can he spot the disruptors in time? They're going straight to the main.
Exactly. He does see the War Prism. He's responding to it, but again, does he expect the disruptors because they do come out?
Okay. He snipes a queen. That's not something I usually see with disruptors, but okay, it's damage.
Yeah.
Oh, this War Priest is so low though.
Oh yeah, the power.
Almost
No,
gets sniped by
he left it alone.
queens.
He left it alone. Oh my god, takes a little bit more damage. The War Prism does barely escape though.
It's like 1 or 2 shots away. Like he really has to be careful with this.
Exactly. Oh my god. GunGFuBanDa, please. Meanwhile, he does meet up with the rest of his army. You know, we have a Colossus. 1 for now. Extended Thermal Lance is still on the way. Does meet up with the Disruptors. Again, this is honestly a pretty powerful push, but he has to be careful because there's not a lot of meat to it.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, this Colossus looks a little bit naked, but the Disruptors can keep the Zerg army at bay, so it should probably work out.
Yeah, it depends on how he uses the Disruptor shots, right? Like, if you waste them early on, then that's go time for the Zerg player, and he just pounces upon the army. Meanwhile, we do have a couple of Adepts distracting a large portion of the Zerg army here, but in the end, GunGFuBanDa, he doesn't try to press his luck, he doesn't stick around, he does turn around and go back home.
Yeah, the great... hello,
Okay,
sorry.
it's fine.
The great part about the adepts is not just that they're getting like small damage here and there, but they're also scouting the base of SortOf regularly. So GunGFuBanDa has a pretty good idea about the tech.
Exactly. GunGFuBanDa, he has seen the Spire, he's seen the Bailey Nest, he saw them researching on top of all this, so he's well aware of what SortOf's composition is looking to be like. Meanwhile, even though the Spire was kind of rushed out, SortOf hasn't really committed to it. We don't see like a big Muta switch or anything like that. He doesn't really have the gas for it either, and there we go, he just commits into more roaches.
Do you think this was a bait?
I don't think it's a bait. I think because he got scouted, he's like, nah, I'm not gonna use it.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, because I say that because I see GunGFuBanDa taking a Stargate and making Phoenixes. So like he's expecting Mutas.
Yeah,
so like I'm like, was it a bait?
I think he made a wise reaction to not commit to the Mutas because he got scouted. GunGFuBanDa, I don't blame him for going to Phoenixes, right? It makes sense. You scout something, you respond, right? He's doing the correct thing here. Unfortunately, it's unnecessary and there are no Mutas.
At least for now.
For now.
We never know when the Muta switch comes.
This is true. Meanwhile, Bailing Speed is done here for SortOf. He's going Lingbane, Road Ravager, a very solid ground-based composition here. And if GunGFuBanDa pushes too deep into creep, then SortOf will collapse on this army.
Yeah, he's setting up quite a nice position there. And in the same time, the roaches are attacking on the 4th base of GunGFuBanDa. But there's not much to defend it.
That's okay, we have a Phoenix. It's fine.
Yeah. What?
As the Phoenix does pick up a roach, eventually these roaches will be cleaned up. Unfortunately, they didn't really do too much, but SortOf, he wanted to get rid of these roaches. They were kind of inflated supply. They had served their purpose early on to defend against the Adepts, and now they are replaced with Lings.
Indeed they are. And some Banes as well. But yeah. The base of GunGFuBanDa is actually defended. It does go up.
Yeah, he gets his 4th up and running for now. Meanwhile, SortOf, he was just refining his army a little bit more, getting more of that Ling Bane, which is a little bit more useful to him. Ooh, but the War Prism, it's back. Sure, it almost went down earlier, but it's back with a vengeance sneaking into the main.
Yeah, it has to be careful about this spore, and the Dark Shine is on the way as well, so I assume it soon will be able to warp in some DTs.
Exactly. Not just the Dark Shine, but also a Templar Archive, so I imagine Storm will be on the way as well. Meanwhile, ooh, the War Prism was sniped by the Queens.
It was, but look at this. There are actually mutas on the way.
God.
I told you.
The Banelings, they roll into the mineral line. 14 probes go down. Unfortunately, GunGFuBanDa was a little bit distracted with the main army, and as you said, finally, we do see a bit of a switch into those mutas.
I'm telling you, you never know when the muta switch comes.
Yeah, you say muta switch, he literally only has 2 mutas.
Look. Look.
That's
you never
it.
know.
That's like, this isn't even enough to one-shot workers. It's not.
Is it like a token swarm host?
I'm pretty sure that was an accident. I'm pretty.
I mean, he is playing for greatest fire now, so.
Yeah, exactly. Meanwhile, ooh, the army does move into creep. Solid force fields just barely keeping GunGFuBanDa alive. The Colossus were almost surrounded. Meanwhile, again, the mutas said that they scout. Sure.
Look.
Sure.
Look, they did something.
Yeah,
they gave information.
He saw the Dark Shrine. You know what? Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
It's something. Good job, mutas. Good job.
Their death was not for nothing. And at the same time, SortOf is going for ultras as well. Like, he's just going for all the late game tech.
Yeah, what I will say that it's a little bit unfortunate how this game has turned out, because I'm sure people have noticed GunGFuBanDa has been maxed out for a while now, for the past couple of minutes, and he hasn't really been able to do anything with his supply. He's just been posturing in the middle of the map, kind of being defensive, slowly teching up, but slowly. And because of that, GunGFuBanDa, he has caught up in that supply. He's close to maxing out himself.
Yeah, like both of them are. They're just dancing in the middle of the map. Oh, this is a nice collapse from SortOf. He may get all of these stalkers.
Oh god, the disruptors! Up! Ooh.
Never mind.
Okay, that was so close. One of them almost went down, but all the links were cleaned up. Meanwhile, mate, we freed up some supply. SortOf remaxes on those corruptors.
At the same time, on the other side of the map, we have 2 more Stargates and a Fleet Beacon.
Oh yeah, GunGFuBanDa, he wants to get into that sky toss, but again, the corruptors are already on the way. Meanwhile, the DTs are finally being used here to harass. There's no dissection here. This base may fall. And at the same time, the main army of GunGFuBanDa, he's pushing deep into creep.
Yeah, a few disruptors are actually sniped, but this is still quite a scary army. Oh, the base goes down.
Yeah.
It was actually not safe. And SortOf has no way to expand with the army just going around.
Exactly. I mean, he will defend here. He will clean this up, sure. But now we have a 4-base Protoss against a 4-base Zerg. Like, this is not what you want to be seeing right now.
Yeah, this is not ideal.
And especially because, like, GunGFuBanDa, he has no reason to attack. Like, he's taking up right now. He's on 4 bases. He wants to slowly trade out his army and get his Sky Toss, get his carriers, get his mothership, get his Void Rays. Oh my god. Meanwhile, another kill here on the left-hand side of the map.
Yeah, as I said, like, GunGFuBanDa is just containing SortOf on this side of the map, and there's no way for him to move.
Yeah, exactly. Speaking of, SortOf was attempting to double expand, but there is a War Prism here as well to try and apply some pressure. Oh god, we do see SortOf responding. I was a little bit concerned that maybe we were going to see some DTs, but the Corruptors should shut down this War Prism, and now SortOf, he's going out across the map. He's going for it.
The disruptors are so... they're gonna snipe the army. Why not? That was a decent shot.
That it was, and SortOf, he's forced to pull back. Again, this Protoss army is too much for him to really handle right now, and SortOf, like, oh god, he's losing so much as he retreats.
Yeah, he's killing themselves with the Banelings, but like he's just running away, and he can't find a position on this army.
He's kind of trapped here in the corner of the map. He's forced to fight, but we do have a couple of force fields. The Banelings are finding some juicy connections, and yo, the Corruptors coming from behind, and they're going to clean up all these Colossus.
They're finally useful for something.
They are,
but
they are.
This is not enough. The ground is still standing strong.
Yeah, and the Colossus survived. Unfortunately, the Corruptors, they were too busy dealing with the Phoenixes instead of the Colossus, and now the ground army pushes on forward. What is left here? There are no more Banelings, no more Ravagers.
GG.
GG. Oh my god, GunGFuBanDa, he was patient. He was patient. He bided his time, and then finally he pushed out. He didn't even need the sky toss. There was a mothership. There were carriers on the way, and he didn't even need
There
them.
were. Yeah. And I find it kind of funny that like a big part of I mean, I guess you could argue that the fight was already done by then, but like I like that those 2 phoenixes that he made as a response to Spy were actually useful for something.
Exactly. Well, kind of. The
Look,
Phoenixes,
they distracted sort of.
Sure. To be fair, even if that Colossus went down, I don't think that would have changed anything.
know.
Like,
Yeah, I know. But look, they did something.
They did. But what I will say, I mean, people are putting it out in the chat, and it's kind of what we were alluding to. Like, sort of, he had maxed out so early on with an army. He was ahead, like 60 supply, but he didn't pull the trigger. He was just a little bit too passive, a little bit too defensive. He sent some bailing run by, sure, but he never really was aggressive across the map. And yeah, he just let GunGFuBanDa close that gap. It was crazy.
Yeah, like there was a lot of like dancing in the middle of the map, but there was never like harass. He made mutas. He made 2 mutas, which like couldn't do anything on the other side of the map. So there was no damage done to the Protoss.
Exactly. It felt almost as if SortOf was a little bit too scared. I don't know. Maybe he has some PTSD against Protoss. Maybe he's just not confident in his composition and in this matchup. I don't know, but like he just never went for it. We saw him taking up. Right, the Greater Spire was on the way. He wanted to get into Broodlords, but he had a bunch of Roach Ravager, Ling Bane that he just wasn't using.
There was both Greater Spire and Ultralisk then. I was curious what he's gonna do with that.
Yeah. Unfortunately, we didn't get to see what it was. Feels bad, man. As our players are finally ready here, we are diving into game number 2. I hope that was more of like a warm-up game for SortOf. You know, just shake that rust off, and then now we're getting into game 2. Maybe we can see more of what he has to offer.
Indeed. Maybe a bit more aggressive. Not necessarily like cheesy aggressive, but like more aggressive.
Just
like
active.
Put some pressure on your opponent. You know?
Yeah.
But as it is, this is game 2, and we are on 2000 atmospheres, Ali. And in the bottom left corner of the map, we have the red Zerg player representing Sweden. It's SortOf.
And spawning in the top right-hand corner of 2000 atmospheres LE, we have the German Protoss player. He is blue, representing Cascade Esports. It is GunGFuBanDa. Oh.
By the way, I'm so proud of us that we haven't made a single SortOf pan yet.
Oh, that's awful. Oh, no. If Yaku was here, he would be going for it. 100%. 100%.
Oh,
Yeah.
By the way, I like how the drone like saw the probe, and it was like, nah, I'm just not even, nah. Like the probe didn't even manage to get to the natural. It was just like, yeah, let's just not do that.
He knows. He knows. Like, I mean, long gone have are the days where you can actually take your natural base as a Zerg player in ZVP. Feels bad, man.
Yeah, this has become the standard now.
Yeah. So we do see once again SortOf is forced to take the unnatural natural. Will this prompt GunGFuBanDa once again to go into those Glaive Adepts?
I wouldn't be surprised if he did, but gonna find out what his plan is. Once again, he's harassing the workers.
He
likes to
is.
do that, it seems.
I would like to think that after game number 1, SortOf, he's maybe a little bit upset. He's like, I didn't get to play with the carriers. You know, it's like I wanted to get the carriers out, man. What the hell? So maybe we'll see a Stargate opening. Maybe.
I don't think so. I'm voting no. I'm voting Twilight Council.
All right. We'll see what comes out of this as soon as the Cybercore finishes up. Either way, GunGFuBanDa, he has a lot of room to work with. He's already up 1-0 in this series. He can afford to take a couple of risks if he so chooses. Again, it's one of those things where I'm sure, you know, whether it's Stargate openings or Twilight Council openings, they're very stylistic to players. You know, what do they prefer to go for? And there it is.
Look at that.
What do I win? Yeah.
I don't have good ideas. Chat, help me out.
God damn it, group. So we do have a Stargate opening here from GunGFuBanDa. Very different kind of opening. We're not going to see any Glaive Adepts. We'll see what he decides to go for, because obviously the standard thing is to go Void Rays, right? But we have seen a rise in popularity of, say, triple Oracle openings.
I mean, with the Natura, as we call it, like, an Oracle would be pretty neat, because you could just bounce between the bases, and it would be very hard for Zerg to, like, defend both of them. And as we see, it is an Oracle.
Yes, there is one Oracle. Now the question is, how many Oracles are we going to see? 1, 2, or 3?
2.
2. Ooh, okay. We'll see. As the first Oracle is almost done. Behind this, you know, again, we could see a Void Ray, we could see more Oracles. The Overlord does sneak into the main base, and eventually sort of will see this Stargate, but he doesn't see it quite yet.
Okay, there's the second Oracle. Okay, I'm still technically correct.
Yeah, and I'm a little bit fearful because, again, sort of, finally, just a little bit more. There we go. He does finally see the Stargate, but it's a little bit late. There are no spores ready for this, and the Oracle is already here.
Yeah, there are the queens, but if GunGFuBanDa is careful, he should be able to micro around them.
Yeah. And there we go. 3 drones go down. He keeps the Oracle alive. It does back off, and it can meet up with the second Oracle and just dive in and start one-shotting these workers.
Exactly. And I mean, at this point, at least the bases of the Zerg are connected with creeps, so the queens have a bit of an easier time to run between the bases. But it's still quite the distance that they have to travel.
It really is. And yo, we were talking about it. There it is. It is a triple Oracle opening. Again, this has kind of risen in popularity recently. It has kind of come back after being dormant for quite some time. And with 3 Oracles, you can dive in, you can just eviscerate mineral lines, you can chase down singular queens as well if you want to, like if they're left all alone, left vulnerable, and you get a lot of scouting information. You can tag the army, keep things in check.
Ooh. The Oracle was actually so close to going down, but there will be a replacement, as we know, as the third one is coming up.
Yeah, there it is. At the moment, I believe, yeah, it was just chilling at the third base in case there was a Ling run by to try and deny this third. The Oracle would be here to help defend it, but there were no Lings, so now it goes across the map.
Yeah, and while the Oracles are messing up the base, there are Adepts as well.
Oh god! Oh, 5 drones.
Not bad.
Yeah, 5 drones. They get stasis. Eventually, all these Adepts will be cleaned up. At the same time, ooh, another Oracle was trying to dip into the third, but it was pushed away by these queens.
These 2 are still here, by the way. And the queens are so busy with the hatcheries that they don't even notice them.
Yeah, the Oracles, they've just gotten so much value. They're all still alive. For now, they have to be careful because of the amount of queens. And behind this, GunGFuBanDa, once again, is going for that Robotics Bay.
Yeah, so this will not be like instant Golden Armada, but he did get some damage with those Oracles, so that was a nice opening for him.
Yeah, definitely. Finally, Foot SortOf is expanding. He's taking another base, but again, he's just been stuck defending at home. He hasn't really been too aggressive. He hasn't really. I mean, we do see that he's decided to go for a Roach Warren.
There's a Ling on by, but there is an Oracle to defend it. Funnily enough.
That's what I mean. That's the power of 3 Oracles. You have 2 to harass and 1 to defend.
Exactly.
Oh boy. So with this, yeah, SortOf, he just hasn't really been able to do too much. I guess he has successfully defended. Like, things didn't get out of control here. He does still have all of his bases up and running. He does have his 4th, and he is going once again for that Ling Bane Roach Ravager composition.
Exactly. But there are once again DTs on the way, disruptors on the way, there's charge as well, so I assume there will be a lot of run-bys around SortOf's bases, and he make it like, you know, starved again.
It's possible. What I will say is that right now, SortOf is a little bit vulnerable. He doesn't really have much of an army to work with because of how much he's been taking up, you know, Forge, Twilight Council, Robo Bay, like Dark Shrine, anything and everything. So his army is a little bit weak here, and he realizes that, and this is the power of Protoss. Mate, just throw down shield batteries, throw down cannons, you know, just fortify at home, and you can defend.
I mean, having good SimCity is pretty good, and then also like defensive structures.
Yeah, exactly. Meanwhile, yo, these Oracles are still alive, by the way.
Yeah, I was gonna say, they're still doing damage. They're still sniping drones.
It's just, hold on, let's have a look at the units lost tab. 13 drones have gone down to these Oracles. Again, not the worst thing, and interesting. I thought that SortOf was gonna stay with this composition for a little bit longer, but we have an infestation pit.
That we do. What do you think it is?
I'm going to assume it's just for Vipers. So you go into Hive and get some Vipers out. That will help a lot. With Vipers, you can yoink, you can abduct these Colossus as well as these Disruptors and really shut them down.
Oh, this Ravager gets sniped by the charge loads, but now the sort of knows what's coming and he can set up a position.
Yeah, and again, like, this army isn't quite big, to be honest. Like, the most terrifying thing about this are the Disruptors, and that's kind of it.
Yeah. And the Oracles are still around. By the way, random shutout. I appreciate that line of Overlords in SortOf's main.
Yeah, I saw that in the minimap as well. I'm like, that's interesting. And oh god, I was talking about this. He wants the queen. He wants the queen. Can he get it? It's a little bit greedy, and he does not.
Ooh, that was actually very close. Still gets the tag, and two of the oracles actually very low.
I am shocked. I thought for sure that when, like, how he committed to kill that queen and the fact that he didn't get it, I thought he was going to be punished for it. I thought he was going to lose at least one, maybe even two of the oracles, but all three survive.
Quite impressive.
Oh,
and at the same time, we have a fight in the middle of the map.
That we do. Solid Bile. One of them does connect, but only one Bile, so the sentries do survive. They do stay alive. Meanwhile, we do see the GunGFuBanDa. He's just tipping his toes into the water, right? He doesn't want to commit. He's just clearing up some creep.
Yeah, just clearing creep. Like, once again, like, I noticed that GunGFuBanDa's style is more like controlling the Zerg opponent, you know? Like, he doesn't go for, like, just huge frontal push.
He doesn't. He does try to distract the opponent and pull them apart. Meanwhile, ooh, Purification Nova does go off, doesn't find the juiciest connection, and yo, SortOf is getting ready for a surround.
Ooh, he's coming in. Yeah, the free Ravagers are going down. There's a lot of Archons in this army as well.
Oh god, oh god, oh god. Another Purification Nova goes off and it does connect. Two more Ravagers do fall. The Banelings are connecting with the Archons. That's not really what you want to be seeing. But now in come the Roaches. Oh god, but there are just so many Disruptors behind this.
Yeah, there's a second wave of Banelings as well that just rolled in, but I don't think it's gonna be enough.
Yeah, and as all that was happening, 11 drones went down. I think the Oracles may have dipped in, gotten some workers, and then recalled out of there. Ay, ay, ay.
Yeah. And now we have the fleet beacon, so maybe we will see the carriers this time.
Yeah, and unfortunately, this time SortOf isn't ready for it. He's getting Vipers right now, which are great against Disruptors, right? It's great against what's in front of him here and now. But the follow-up are those carriers, as you were saying, and we still don't see a Spire.
Yeah, like, we barely have anything shooting up. It's really just the queens.
Yo, GunGFuBanDa, you gotta give up with these War Prisms, right? They're just not... That's
Is this the time? Is it the time that we open the War Prism count, like, for patience?
We just sit him down. It's like, look, the War Prisms, they're just not working. You just lost two of them for free. Just stop. Meanwhile,
Don't.
Bit of a mistake, but hopefully SortOf realizes we do have a... it's fine. It's fine.
No, it was for double upgrades. You have no idea.
The timing.
Very important.
Time.
Yes.
There you go. Meanwhile, finally, for the first time this game, SortOf, he's going for some multi-pronged attacks. He's meeting the army here, distracting it. At the same time, he's going across the map with Roaches and Banelings.
Yeah, this wall is pretty tough though, and the Oracles are here as well to spot this.
Every single Baneling gets focused down. They all go down there before interacting with anything, and the Roaches are forced back.
There are even two Immortals stuck in that wall, so those Roaches were not going anywhere.
Yeah, not at all. Like, the wall at home for GunGFuBanDa is real, and the carriers are finally coming out. Thankfully, SortOf, he is kind of preparing for that a little bit. He didn't scout the main at all. He doesn't necessarily know that Skytoss is on the way, but he's getting ready for the transition. He's throwing down that Spire.
Yes, indeed. But for now, he has to worry about the army on the front of his base.
That he does. Again, he does have these Vipers to yoink those Disruptors, but he has to be careful because there are Stalkers to protect them, to try and blink and focus down those Vipers.
This is actually quite funny to me, that GunGFuBanDa would expand to this base in the east before he expanded to the north.
Yeah, I love it
He's just
because...
like slowly... He's like slowly creeping in on SortOf.
It's one of those things where, like, this is where his army is. This is where he's pressuring.
Yeah.
This is where there's no creep. It's like, why not have a base right behind me, right? My army's here already anyway, right?
Yeah, it's pretty nice setup because exactly he's attacking this place anyway, so why not?
Exactly. Meanwhile, oh my god, the Disruptor. No, SortOf, please! No! SortOf, oh my god, it's not over. They just keep coming.
That was a nice save. He sort of was distracted with the DTs at the north, and he completely missed the disruptions shot.
GunGFuBanDa, he found sort of when he was unawares. We do have at least one yoink, so thankfully one disruptor gets picked off, but that was a beautiful shot there by GunGFuBanDa. What's important to note though is that sort of he has a massive bank. He rebuilds that lost supply with ultras.
Yes, he does. We have a lot of icons, but it's not quite like the cinematic of Legacy of the Void.
Not quite, but we may get there. Meanwhile, okay, we do see GunGFuBanDa. He doesn't want to commit too hard. We just see a massive Lingbane Roach run by. This time, this will get into the natural.
And it empowers all the buildings as well, so the upgrades are delayed. Oh, these queens are actually gonna go down as well.
Yeah,
and
but
the
you know what?
ultras show up.
Yeah, the ultras, they do show up. They do show up with kindness plating. They surround the army. They're going to clean everything up other than these carriers.
Yeah, isn't it kind of funny? They're like, yeah, we're gonna win this battle. Oh wait, we don't shoot up.
At the same time, we have some zealots harassing here as well. The newest, freshest base of SortOf. So SortOf, he's sustaining a lot of losses, but he still has these ultras. I don't really like this because he's kind of throwing his ultras away. Like, there's an immortal here, the oracles and the carriers are going ham, and SortOf, he loses a lot of the ultras. Almost everything. He's always all of them. No.
Yeah. I'm not sure if it was like if he wanted to like push his advantage, or if it was just because the ultras were being chased by the carriers anyway,
True.
so he just wanted to use them.
Yeah, that was probably it there. Thankfully, some of the ultras did survive, and now we have a massive reinforcement wave of these corruptors.
That icon is a bit lost.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, the icon would be amazing against those corruptors, but does get picked off, was a little bit out of position. Now, SortOf, he's going for another base.
Yeah, he's completely skipping GunGFuBanDa's army and just goes for the third base.
That he is. One ultra goes down, the second ultra is going to go down as well. This immortal is putting in a lot of work, and in comes the army of GunGFuBanDa.
Oh, and it's cloaked now. There is one overseer, but if it gets sniped, it can be pretty bad for SortOf.
Yeah, there wasn't much detection left there. The carrier count is getting higher. We have a bigger investment into ultras, which is not the right call. Like, ultras are great when your Sky Toss is accompanied by High Templar. Okay, never mind. There's plenty of High Templar. Okay.
Yeah.
It's good. It's good. I didn't realize
Never
Storm
mind, it's
is
great.
Yeah. It's a beautiful play. Beautiful play by SortOf. Wonderful. But at the same time, you don't want too many ultras, right? They do take up a lot of supply. You need to make sure you do have enough Vipers and Corruptors to take out the Sky Toss. There's a delicate balance.
Actually, GunGFuBanDa is done with carrier production for now, and he's going for Void Rays with Flux Wings.
Oh god. Meanwhile, GunGFuBanDa is just doing what he can with the Stalkers being a little bit active. We do see a Ling run by here. The wall is not a wall. They can slip in, but Voiders showing up, and that reaction time from GunGFuBanDa is not enough.
Yeah, it's not. The Lings are running right into the base so they can see exactly what's happening in GunGFuBanDa's world.
Oh no.
Yeah, no.
Okay, well, I was about to say those High Templar were so exposed. Thankfully, the High Templar were forced back. They were pulled back in time to protect them. And now in comes the Sky Toss. This space, it looks like it will go down. At the same time, the Blink Stalkers are kind of being thrown away. GunGFuBanDa does want to refine that army.
And funny enough, those Lings are still in the base. I think they actually took down a Stargate.
Yeah, it looks like they did. We have plenty more where that came from. It's fine. It's fine. And as GunGFuBanDa loses the base, I was about to say SortOf may lose one as well, but these Stalkers, they will finally get cleaned up.
Yeah. And he goes for Infestors next.
Yeah, the old Brood Lord Infestor. Oh, love to see it. Kappa.
I mean, it may help with all these close units, right?
Oh, 100%. Like, spellcasters are what you want. You want your Vipers, you want your Infestors, you want your Corruptors, you want a good balance of everything. And the problem is that it is difficult to control, right? You need to make sure you don't slip up, because if you do, like the High Templar, they come in, they feedback your units, right? They nullify them. We have storms rain down on your army as well. Like, it can be so difficult.
Yeah, there are Void Rays now at the head of the charge as well. It can snipe those Broodlords, for example.
There they are. Thankfully, this is a nice position here. We do have a couple of Spores finishing up, but all the Spores, they go down. At the same time, we do have a bit of a Ling Ultra run by. They are going to deal some damage.
Yeah, but at the same time, like, the GunGFuBanDa's army is just getting into sort of space. There's more and more storm.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my god! And the detection gets dealt with. The ultras they come in first, and they wanted to kill the High Templar, but they could not pull it off.
Yeah, they're taking blow for blow, but I have a feeling SortOf is not in a great position looking at the number of bases he has.
We'll see. Yes, we do see a slow zone thrown down. The Corruptors are trying to focus down the War Prism, and they do get the Mothership.
Yeah, the carriers are alone now. Actually, the ground army is gone, so it's just the carriers.
Exactly. There was not enough support on the ground for those carriers. We needed more Archons. Instead, we had the High Templar. And even though they survived the initial wave, they could not feed back. They could not storm in time.
Yeah, those Corruptors are pretty important as well because they were able to snipe that Mothership and SortOf could just collapse on the army.
Yeah, again, like Archons, they have so much value here. Like, they do so well when it comes to zoning away these Corruptors, protecting your Skytos. And that was a massive loss for GunGFuBanDa. His army count was basically reset.
Yeah, and it takes a while for this army to be rebuilt, right?
And something that's interesting to me is that he's not rebuilding the carriers. He's going back into Void Rays. To be fair, it makes sense. Void Rays do well against Corruptors. But yeah, he basically has to start from square one.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is that SortOf is not the most aggressive as we know, so he may give him just enough time to rebuild it. But we're gonna find out.
Yeah, exactly. Meanwhile, at the same time, we have Neural on the way, because why not? I don't know if that's going to come into play here. If there were more carriers, then sure, you neural the carriers, right? You know, your carriers are now mine. And that's how you beat Protoss, with their own units. But there are Void Rays. Funguls are probably going to be a little bit more important here for SortOf. Again, it's all about them spellcasters.
Yeah. So, as we were talking about how GunGFuBanDa is expanding to the south, like, SortOf is now taking the north, like, they both split them up, like, vertically.
Yeah,
it's quite interesting.
In a very weird way, the map has been split in half. It's very interesting. Oh, God.
Yeah, that's not the typical way this goes, but hey, we're here.
Yeah, what I will say is that I feel like GunGFuBanDa has to be a little bit more of a degenerate. Like,
what does that mean?
Kind of like Starduck, you know, what we need to see is we need to see this, but everywhere. You get your wall of cannons, you get your wall of shield batteries, you make your bases impenetrable, and that's something that we don't really see here. So because of that, SortOf, he keeps finding ways to counterattack, to harass, to take out bases, and you know, stay even with GunGFuBanDa.
I mean, might as well at this point of the game, right? That said, GunGFuBanDa does not have a lot of bank, so actually, like, rebuilding this Golden Armada is taking all the resources he can.
It really is. Like, that is it. That is the bank of GunGFuBanDa. Meanwhile, SortOf, for a while now, has been left alone with these fresh bases, with this rich Vespene gas base as well. And now he has a massive gas count, gas bank, sorry. He's remaxing. He's almost maxed out.
Those investors are so alone.
God, that they are.
I'm just looking at the minimap as this Zealot attack is happening, and he's gonna snipe the Great Fire.
The infestors! The infestors! Oh no! Two of them
They're
get picked
throwing
off.
some vanguards, but that's all they can do.
3 of them get picked off. Oh my god. That Zealot. Yo, can he get another one? No! No! He gets it!
Yes! Got it.
And what I was gonna say, as we do see the War Prism try and escape, this is War Prism. There it is, number 3 that's about to go down.
Where is it?
Oh.
Yes, it is.
Oh boy. And after that chaotic moment, again, SortOf it still is in the driver's seat, right? He's the one who, even though he did sustain a lot of losses there, he's maxed out once again. He's got a decent bank. He's being active here, forcing GunGFuBanDa to respond with his army. And at the same time, in come the ultras here towards the south, towards the fresh base, the most important bases of GunGFuBanDa. No, never mind. Oh, no, he's going in.
Yeah, this time it's SortOf who's trying to pull apart GunGFuBanDa and attack from different directions, but the Golden Armada is here.
Yeah. Oh, SortOf. He gambled wrong. He was hoping that run-by would force the Golden Armada to the north. Makes sense, right? But GunGFuBanDa, he knew better. He kept his Skytos here towards the south, and he could defend his freshest, most important bases.
Yes, I was about to ask, do you think GunGFuBanDa will do this? And he is doing it. He's taking the technically third base of SortOf.
Oh my god, this is disgusting, mate.
Watch him destroy the Natural and just take the Natural for next, even though there's no resources there.
If there was, he would. He totally would. Why the
No,
hell
just
not?
make a statement,
Meanwhile, something that we're missing that I just realized, at this stage of the game, ideally you get rid of the Ultras. The Ultras, they take up a lot of supply, they're clunky, you get rid of them, and then you replace them with Broodlords. Greater Spire is done. I don't see the Broodlords.
I mean, at this supply, you can't really make any.
Mate, just get rid of the Ultras, mate. They've served their purpose.
I mean, yeah, but you know.
Yeah, it is one of those things where you do want to trade efficiently, right? You don't want to just throw them away, like some of the other Ultras that we've seen this game. It could also be that sort of he may just prefer this composition, right? Oh no, never mind. They're the guy. Hey,
Yeah,
he knows.
yeah.
He's listening.
Use some of those bindings instead. He's trying once again to run into this Natural, but it's so fortified.
Yeah, that it is. Sort of does not find a way in. Meanwhile, he's finding some production buildings. You know, the Lings, they do find some value here.
I just can't. It's just so funny when I look at this south base of GunGFuBanDa, and it's like so fortified as well with all the cannons going up. All your base just belong to us.
Pretty much. We're ending up in a straight up split map scenario. Not split in the way that you would assume, but it is split nonetheless. The High Templar coming in. They do get a couple of storms off. Oh, but they expose themselves to the Broodlords. Oh my god,
Yeah,
oh my god.
And there's a nice fungal on the Void Race.
Yeah, nice fungal, nice parasitic bomb follow-up as well. But, oh, GunGFuBanDa, he doesn't split. Split might be split.
Went up all the Void Race. It's not gonna kill them, but that's still a lot of damage that may not be repaired.
Yeah, exactly.
Some of that is low damage.
You could argue that it was okay just because he was on top of all these shield batteries, but it wastes the energy of these shield batteries, and it does mean that, you know, he's vulnerable to a follow-up attack.
Yeah, indeed. And SortOf is trying to find a way to bite into GunGFuBanDa, but these fortified positions are just a bit too strong.
He's trying, though. He's trying.
He is.
God, as the Ultras are back. Meanwhile, we have the Tempest upgrade on the way as well. I actually don't know what that's called. Shout out to anyone in the chat who does know. I got no idea.
Tectonic something, I think.
Tectonic plates. Pulse.
Tectonic plates, yes. Tectonic plates.
The continents are going to be shot out of the Tempest.
There you go. Tectonic destabilizers.
Destabilizers. There we go. Of course, there's the upgrade that does mean that Tempest do bonus damage to buildings. I guess GunGFuBanDa wants to go into Tempest at some point. I guess that's the play here.
I guess so. But so far, it's just sitting in his perfect positions, in his fortified places.
Yeah, I'm waiting for someone to like pull the trigger here because both armies have just been looking at each other for a long time. We do have two harassment forces, but as we've seen, like this position is not being broken anytime soon. Not by this army anyway.
Yeah, like I mean, it's Ultras and Zerglings. Like all of them are melee, so all of them have to get through that wall to like attack any unit. So it's very hard for them to attack this.
Definitely. And anyone in the chat,
there's one road.
If you were here yesterday and you tuned in to But Always versus Go Joey, we're back. It's happening again. What I will say is that I do think that this game is a little bit more active compared to that one. That one was a lot slower and there was a lot more posturing. There is some posturing happening now, but for the most part, like, you know, we have seen some action.
Yeah, I mean, they are constantly trying to find an opening. It's just that it's not really there.
Exactly. Now, finally, we do see the trigger being pulled. The Broodlords are laying siege upon this defensive position, and the shield batteries and the cannons, they are slowly going down.
Yeah, the Broodlords are slowly chipping away at this, and the carriers don't want to go too close to the Corruptors and Infestors. Yeah. So this base actually looks like it's gonna be taken down.
Yeah, he backs off. Meanwhile, we have a Zealot run by here. A couple of drones go down, but a drone's really the most important thing right now. Not really. It is a little bit insignificant. Oh, but we see a mass recall across the map.
What did we do? That's an interesting position to take.
Yeah. I mean, he takes out all these spores. He's going to be able to catch all of these Ultras, but in come the Corruptors.
Yeah, and once again, there's a parasitic bomb that just deals a lot of damage to all of this air army.
Oh my god, not just the air army, more importantly, the interceptors. That's the power of those parasitic bombs. So many interceptors went down. GunGFuBanDa's forced back, and I don't know if he has enough void rays to contend against these corruptors. Prismatic alignment just ran out.
Yeah, and the fungi as well, which keeps all this army in place just right for the corruptors to snipe them.
Oh my god, oh my god.
Do you see that?
Yeah, it looks like you can recall even if you're being neuraled.
I mean, I guess the recall started before they were
Yeah, it did. To be fair. Meanwhile,
it's
it
still
looks
funny when it's still funny when those like unpredictable interactions happen. You see this sometimes with laser beams as well, where they just like shoot across the map, and you're like, whoa.
It does. Recall is great. But what we just saw is that I believe all the Broodlords have been taken out, which is a great win for GunGFuBanDa. But like this army, it can't stand up against these corruptors. It's over, mate. It's done. Look at this dude.
Yeah, even on the ground, there's Zerglings that's just running over the ground army as well.
That they are. We do even see a neural here on the void rays. Every single void ray goes down. There are only 2 carriers remaining, and that is not going to be enough here. Game number 1 was really rough for our Zerg player, and even here in game 2, but he does bring it all the way back. He shuts down the army of GunGFuBanDa, and what is there left for him to do? He's trying to switch into a ground focus army, right? Like, because there are so many corruptors, it makes sense. But again, at any moment, these corruptors can be morphed into Broodlords.
Yeah, plus there are more ultras on the way anyway, so like SortOf is preparing for the Grand Army. He knows that may be coming.
Exactly. And there we go. There are the Broodlords. There are the Ultras. Archons are trying to come in. Maybe this can work, but just mind control everything, you know?
Yeah, he's just mind controlling everything, including the Archons, the Stargates, just anything that's in range.
Exactly. SortOf dealing the killing blow with his own Protoss army. Oh my god, you love to see it. In the end, okay, actually his Infestors are running out of energy. The Archons are pushing through, but the Broodlord's finished.
Yeah, like SortOf just has to keep this army at bay long enough for Broodlords to finish them off. But I mean, there are reinforcements from GunGFuBanDa, so it may not be over after all.
It's true. It's very true. The Stalkers and Luna blink on top of the Broodlords. There are only 3 Broodlords left. Can he somehow do this? The Ultra falls due to these Immortals. Again, these Infestors don't have enough energy and they're going down. Mate, there's only 2
they're all
Broodlords
alone
left.
now.
There's only 2 left. Up.
Yeah, and all these corruptors are just dead supply. They can't help them.
There's 1 left. There's 0 left.
It's just Infestors.
Yeah, but now we have
That's
Lynx.
Yeah.
Yeah, Lynx
Look,
are
there's a
flooding
Warp
in.
Priest.
Oh, the War Priest is gonna go down. Not again, puppy, not again. It is gonna be chased down by the Corruptors. There's just not enough here for GunGFuBanDa. As amazing as that last fight was, GG gets called and SortOf ties up the series 1-1.
GG. That was a pretty solid game. It was like very. I don't know if patient is the right word, but like, they were like looking for openings, but they weren't like overcommitting to them until like they found the one that they thought was, the best case.
Definitely. Oh boy. And yeah, that was an interesting game. It's not the late game Skytoss that I'm used to seeing. I feel like GunGFuBanDa had a really weird balance of void rays and carriers. I feel like it was a little bit off balance there, and that's why he was really struggling to keep up with the army of SortOf in the end. Yeah.
Maybe.
Interesting.
Yeah, indeed. But we did not see the Tempest.
We didn't see there were no Tempests. Feels bad, man. I don't think they would have changed much, but I mean, maybe they would have. To be honest.
I mean, he was researching an upgrade for them, so I don't know.
True indeed. As we're just trying to set up the players. There we go. Beautiful. Players are set up to dive into game number 3. But yeah, Tempest actually would have changed a little bit there, just because Tempest will outrange everything. They don't allow the Broodlords to kind of have free reign and just lay siege upon that southern base that we saw happen, right? That wouldn't have happened if there were a line of Tempests.
The chat is catching up to the mind control, like getting slapped by your own hand.
Exactly. That's exactly what just happened. I love it. Shout out to the Logic in the chat. Logic, what are you doing awake right now? Aren't you Australian? Oh my god, mate, it's 5 a.m.
You say as a fellow Australian, so
yeah,
but anyways, enough about that, because we are on Blackburn LE, where everything is on fire and we're going. Anyway, in the bottom right corner of Blackburn LE, we have the red Zerg player representing Sweden. It's SortOf.
And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Blackburn LE, we have the German Protoss player. He is blue, representing Cascade Esports. It is GunGFuBanDa.
By the way, chat has some more comments. Somebody said, this is not how you play either of those races.
Oh, man, let me introduce you to players like Strange, Skilless, Ziggy. Man, you can play your race however the hell you want. You just
like
have
a whole list of players that just do their own thing.
They do. What I was going to say is that, mate, all you got to do is perform better than your opponents.
Yeah.
Oh my god. So yeah, but it was kind of an odd exchange between the two players, I will say, with their army compositions and stuff. Regardless, we're here, we're in the ace match, and we're on Blackburn of all matches, of all maps even.
Yeah, that we are. Doesn't seem the most common of the maps.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, as you said, like, I was a Juggernaut that's usually vetoed by Zergs, but wasn't here, so you know.
True.
Seems like the meta is slightly different here.
Kind of. I mean, Blackburn, if either of these players are up against a Terran player, then I would be shocked if we played on Blackburn. But because there's no Terran, it's fine. It's fine. We'll see how SortOf plays this out. To me, he seems like a fairly standard player. I don't think he's going to take advantage of this gold base anytime soon, which is one of the features of this map.
Yeah, it does not seem like it. Do you think GunGFuBanDa is gonna go for oracles again?
That's the question here. Obviously, game one, it happened so long ago now. Let's remind everyone. Game one, we did have a Twilight Council opening with Glaive Adepts. Game two, we did have that Stargate with that triple Oracle opening. But here we see in game three, he is going once again into that Twilight Council.
So is it Glaives? Or is it something else?
I imagine so. So one of the things about Blackburn is the rush distance by ground and by air is incredibly short. So going for something like Glaive Adepts can hit pretty quickly, as we see a Robo thrown down as well.
Yeah, it can totally be Glaives. And can sort of be ready for it. He's expanding to his third. There's no Roach Warrant up yet. And I don't know if it will be in time.
Yeah, and there we go. Glaives is on the way. The scout is being denied at the moment. GunGFuBanDa, SortOf is a little bit in the dark, but I mean, at a certain point, once you don't see an Oracle or a Void Ray, you know that it's not a Stargate opening. But what's important is that he doesn't know how many gateways there are behind this.
He's actually making spores. He doesn't know.
Well, even if there is a Twilight Council opening, you need spores sometimes because it could be a Dark Shrine.
Yeah, like a safety spore.
Yeah. Exactly. So he's throwing down the spore just in case. Meanwhile, we have 3 gateways on the way. 1 is done. So far it is only 4 gate Glaive Adepts. War Prism is in production. He's going to be sending it across the map, and we will see how SortOf deals with this. Also, we'll see if GunGFuBanDa approaches this just like game 1, where he goes into Disruptors.
Yeah, I'm just worried for SortOf because he does not have any units yet. He has 4 links and 4 more on the way. There goes the Roach Warren. But will it be in time before the Adepts come?
Well, I mean, Roaches will be on the way. Initially, you need a wave of Lings. You need Lings to help chase the Shades and chase down these Adepts first, buy enough time for those Roaches. I'm just a little bit worried that SortOf may not be there yet. He is making Lings, but the War Prism is coming into the main.
There's just a few of them still. He's going on the creep, so at least SortOf will see it, but does he have enough?
Oh god. Exactly. And here we go. The Adepts are coming on in. They do shade into the natural as well. Up.
Yeah, the Queens are there to help defend, but there will be a lot of drones falling here.
Yeah, exactly. 6 drones already going down. The Adepts are looking to shade into the third. The Lings are there to meet up with them, though, and they do get us around. Oh my god.
That's a very nice round. Most of the Adepts, if not all of them, are gonna get cleaned up. But the War Priest is still in the main.
Exactly, but the War Prism takes a lot of damage. The Queens, they are trying to keep up with it, and it looks like they will maybe get the War Prism up. Oh, just barely do not.
Yeah, it's so close. GunGFuBanDa is really playing with fire with those warpers. And he lost a good chunk of them last game, so...
He did. I'm really worried about his warp prism control. In the end, 8 drones go down. Honestly, not the biggest of deals. This is okay. This is acceptable damage. And with this, SortOf has defended, and he is sending his Lings across the map to try and deny this third.
Oh yeah, this third is pretty naked right now, so the Lynx may have a good chance to deny it.
That he does. But there's a Warp Prism here as well, so the Adepts should be enough. They do force the Lings back. And there it is. We were talking about it before. This should be for a Disruptor transition.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. And Disruptors generally works pretty well for GunGFuBanDa this series, so they may work this time as well.
Ooh, there you go. Meanwhile, behind this, we do have a lair on the way here. I imagine SortOf just wants to commit to Roaches, get that Roach speed up and running. I will be pleasantly surprised if he decides to do something crazy and throw down the Spire.
Yeah, somehow I don't think that's gonna happen. It looks like SortOf is very, confident about his Roach Ravager and then Bane maybe.
Yeah.
So I think that's what he's gonna stick to once again.
That's why I said pleasantly surprised. It's clearly it's not happening. Oh god. Meanwhile, bit of a Ling run by here. Doesn't get too much done. We do have a couple of Adepts coming across the map towards the north and here into the main with this Warp Prism. It is low from earlier. There's still a Spore here, but not quite in range.
Yeah, it was just enough to unload these Adepts, and the Queens are coming by, but the Warpriest is moving away, so it's gonna be safe this time. But once again, there's more damage from this Adept.
This is a lot, actually. This is 6 drones have gone down. Again, there were Adepts here towards the north as well. They do get cleaned up. For 6 drones, oh boy.
Yeah, and it's like time and time again, GunGFuBanDa is getting this damage. Like, it may be small, at once, but it's slowly snowballing, right?
Yeah.
Hey, SortOf is making a drop reload.
He is. I mean, this damage, it does snowball over time. It's not quite gotten there yet, but SortOf, he has to be careful. He has to be oh so careful. Meanwhile, he is getting that drop alert, as you said. Baneling Nest is done. Baneling speed is still on the way. Could be going for some Baneling drops.
Is it for Queens? Or is it for Queens? The Queens are on the front.
True. What's weird about this, I think it's a mistake, by the way, because there's no pneumatized carapace. There's no Overlord speed. Feels bad, man.
You give me hope.
I was so excited, but it was a bit of a misclick. Aye.
Shaking my head.
I was hoping as well. Meanwhile, the Warp Prism does come into the third base, gets a couple of workers, and this Warp Prism will be able to escape. I think what's important is that GunGFuBanDa is doing a really good job at just keeping SortOf busy at home.
Yeah. And in the meantime, he has time to tech up, he has time to build up his army, and SortOf, he could move out right now, but he doesn't want to leave his bases uncovered.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I don't blame him, right? But now GunGFuBanDa, he's got his Disruptors. I say Disruptors, singular, only one Disruptor. He's got his Colossus working on Extended Thermal Lance. I'm a little bit surprised by the Colossus, not gonna lie. Colossus, they're great against Ling Bane, so I guess there is still value to be had in them, but there's still a lot of Roaches. I would have liked a little bit more of a commitment to these Disruptors.
Yeah, there's only one of them, but the Roaches are coming in. Can they catch this army in time?
The Disruptor! The Disruptor!
It gets sniped!
Oh, God. Unfortunately, GunGFuBanDa wasn't paying too much attention there. He was focusing on his Warp Prism instead, and the Warp Prism could even go down. Oh, God, the Spore dishing out a lot of damage.
Going down.
Just barely. The Warp Prism stays alive.
Take care of your Warp Prism.
GunGFuBanDa, please. Warp Prism lives matter. Oh, God. Meanwhile, we do see the armies clashing a little bit here. The Biles kind of connect, shaving off some shields here on the Immortal. Adepts will be dealt with. It's fine. It's perfectly fine.
Yeah, they are taking a few more drones once again, but the worker difference isn't that big right now. And yeah.
I'm just worried because this reminds me of game number 1, where SortOf, he had a decent army, but he was staying at home, he was defending, and he gave GunGFuBanDa a lot of room as a result.
Yeah, exactly. I do think SortOf I don't know if he wanted to, but like he probably should have like tried some attack early on, but now like this Protoss army is starting to get pretty scary, and yeah, I don't know how this is gonna work out for him. He is going into that Spire once again, but yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, like again, like we have 3 Colossus, we have a Disruptor production commencing once again. There was a bit of a link run by it, but it does get found out by these Stalkers. I'm just really worried that this army is going to get too large, but oh my god, the Disruptor once again. GunGFuBanDa,
All the
please.
Starkers are dealing with the Zerglings, so this Colossi are a little bit naked, I feel like.
They're very exposed, very exposed. The Disruptor also coming out here. Where's the shot? Oh my god! Both Disruptors are going to go down!
Yeah, both of them were sniped and they didn't take any roaches with them.
Oh my god! Meanwhile, we do have a Bailey run by and it's gonna get in. Do we have a response? We do have a reaction. He does pull the boys away, thankfully. But losing both Disruptors like that, oh my god.
Yeah, I guess SortOf knows that he lost a lot of units last game to all the Disruptor shots, so now he's like making double sure that he's sniping them right before the shots go off.
Exactly. And what I will say is that now, like, GunGFuBanDa, his army is looking so good. Like, the threats to your Roach Ravager are Disruptors. It's so difficult to split them and avoid those Purification Novas. But now he doesn't have to worry about it. There's only 1 Disruptor left. Oh god, the surround.
Yeah, the surround is going from both directions and he can sandwich on this army. Just has to be careful of the shots, but he dodges the Disruptor Nova well enough.
Yeah, exactly.
There's still a lot of Protoss army left.
And it's one of those moments where the Blink Stalkers blink back and they expose the high-tech units. All the Colossus go down, the Immortals go down as well. The Disruptor just barely escapes with his life. At the same time, GunGFuBanDa does go for some harassment with his War Prism once again. That War Prism surprisingly still alive in the beginning of the game. He's trying to get the Greatest Fire.
He will get it.
Oh, the Transfuse!
Maybe. He will. He will. Yeah, Transfuse is not enough, and actually the SimCity of SortOf worked against him because he could not get the Zerglings to do with the Zealots.
That he could not. Eventually, especially because of this Viper, finally this War Prism will be dealt with. Oh my god, what? The War Prism survives. It's still alive. Oh my god. Somehow. What I will say is that even though the Greater Spire was denied, I feel like SortOf he maxed out. Mate, just go for it. Just send it across the map, mate. He is 200 supply. He's up 60 compared to GunGFuBanDa. Especially after GunGFuBanDa just lost basically his entire army. Like I can't believe he's across the map right now.
Yeah, look, there are no Zealots, there are no Colossi, there are 2 Disruptors, so SortOf has to be careful, but other than that, he can take it.
There we go. We do have the Yoink. That Purification Nova was not good enough, and in comes SortOf, pounces on top of the army. There's nothing left, only a handful of Stalkers. One more Disruptor does come out.
Ooh, that's a juicy one.
That was a juicy one, but is that enough? Meanwhile, at the same time, that War Prism got back into the natural base, pulls away the reinforcements of SortOf.
Yeah, and the Defender's advantage is just enough for GunGFuBanDa to hold this attack. But these armies are actually pretty even, I would say. And now with the reinforcements from SortOf being free from the Zealots.
Yeah, exactly. You say even, I mean, as you said, with the reinforcements, SortOf has more than enough to crush this army.
Yeah.
GunGFuBanDa, he just lost his high-tech units far too many times. The Disruptors, the Colossus, the Immortals, like, it was just a little bit too sloppy from him. Just at the wrong moments, he just wasn't looking at his main army, was too distracted by either SortOf's harassment or his own harassment, and that was his downfall.
Yeah. SortOf has to make sure though that he keeps attacking, because if he backs away for too long, like eventually GunGFuBanDa is gonna rebuild this army. But for now, he doesn't look very strong.
Okay. He's coming in. I was worried as well that he was gonna back off, but there we go. He does push him forward into the 4th base. It's a pretty fortified location with all this side defense, but there should be more than enough Zerg.
Yeah, this is quite a strong Roach force, and there's just 2 Archons left and some Starkers behind. And I don't think this is enough to stop SortOf.
It is not. All the Archons finally go down. So do the shield batteries. So do the cannons. And sure, 1 Disruptor shot could go off, but it's the splits are good enough.
This will not save the base of GunGFuBanDa. But he's still trying to stick in there. I mean, you know, you don't want to lose the series.
I mean,
but this Zerg army looks pretty strong.
As soon as you said that, he sent the War Prism across the map. He's like, he's trying. His hopes and dreams are in this War Prism right now, and the Queens are here to stop it.
It's gonna die, isn't it? It's gonna die. It's dying. It's dying. It's dead.
F's in the chat, feels bad, man. And with this, sort of, he is going to be moving on forward. Again, a rookie started in game 1, but here in game 2, he did have the killer instinct. He did not give GunGFuBanDa too much time to get into that Death Bolt Protoss army. We do have a lot of zealots being warped in. Again, like GunGFuBanDa, like his reinforcements are like on point here. Like he's trying oh so hard.
Oh, that 2 mutas again, sorry, 3. But yeah, like even when you have pretty strong army, you still have to be careful with this disruption shot and stuff like that. Like you still have to pay attention to the attack, but this looks like a pretty good advantage for him.
I mean, it's Protoss, right? You gotta respect. Oh my god, is there detection? There's no detection! The DTs come in!
No!
Oh my god.
See, this is what I mean. Like, there's always something that you just miss.
Yeah, exactly. And the DTs are going to force away the main army. There are a couple units here in the main base that wreak havoc, but there are more DTs here. So, GunGFuBanDa will force this away. Where's the detection?
Where's the overseers? There's none.
Sorry, they're here. They're coming. He still doesn't have besides Carapace. God damn it. They're so slow.
He's working on it. He's working on it. There it is.
He is working on it. He is working on it.
Look.
There it is.
She's gone.
GG finally called.